Morning, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, and I'm here at a huge lookout here on San Diego County S-22 here at Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. So I'm back in Anza-Borrego, and I'm planning a series of mini hikes today. And I'm probably going to be doing a separate video for each one. But this first one here, I'm going to try to see if I can get up to this really local peak here. This little peak here right by this lookout is about 2,520 to 2,560 feet. So I'm calling it point 2520, and it should be up there somewhere. Now what I'm going to do is just try to see if I can navigate my way around and see if I could find a viable way to get up there. This is going to be a completely off-trail hike, cross-country the whole way. So I'm probably going to have to do a little route finding, but it's pretty close to the highway, so getting lost is really not a big concern of mine. It's just being able to navigate and see if I can do this without having to get overly sketched out by craziness. Looks like I might have to scramble some rocks, but I'm going to try to work my way up there and see if I can do this. Maybe this will work out. Let's see. Right off the bat, I'm starting with a rock scramble. Let's see how this is going to go. I think I could work my way around this pretty easily. It's just a pretty sharp drop off. There's a little bit of exposure over here, but it's nothing more than so far class 2. Just a quickie. Just kind of steep. So I guess I'll work my way. Just try to weave a path up this little ridge. This should be a pretty short one. I've been kind of thinking about this little mini hike for a while. Had him mapped out, and there's at least another one or two that I want to get into after this. So I'm probably not looking at more than 4 miles of total hiking today. So we'll see how this works out for me today. So again, my goal is to get up to point 2520, which is not listed on Peak Bagger or on the topo maps. The only indication that it's there is that I believe there's a topographical ring of 2,520, I believe. I looked at Google Earth for this. Well, let's see. All right, got past that slightly sketchy part. Actually kind of cool. Kind of neat. So now it's just me weaving around the gander cholla here. Cylindropuntia ganderi, variety ganderi. And of course we got Ensalia farinosa, one of the most common shrubs you'll find in the lower elevations. So yes, there'll be an element of cross-country ambling, maybe some scrambling, and of course, as per usual on my videos, some botanizing. First off, let's get a look at this beautiful desert barrel cactus over here. Let's see. Ooh, look at that beauty. Phaerocactus cylindraceus. What a beaut. That's a nice one. You can see evidence of previous blossoms. Yeah, these are previous, probably dried fruits. And of course, right underneath it is a beaver tail cactus, the Puntia basilaris variety basilaris. One of these days, I gotta invest in checking out some of those hills over there for off-trail amblings. So far, this is pretty mellow. A lot of wide open space to work my way around. Oh, an Engelmann hedgehog too. Kinocerius engelmannii variety engelmannii. Come in spring when they're blooming. I think we got a ooh, a fishhook cactus. Ooh, a mammillaria. Now, if you're in coastal San Diego County, coastal and foothill San Diego County, there's only one species, and that's Mammillaria dioica. However, here in Anza-Borrego Desert, we actually have at least two species. So you have, again, Mammillaria dioica is also a desert species, but there's also another one called Mammillaria tetransistra. So I might have to look at the vouchers to see what kind of fishhook this is. Unless both are in the area, but yeah, that is a fishhook cactus. And I guess there's supposed to be some subtle ways to tell them apart, but I've never really experienced Mammillaria tetransistra to really be able to differentiate it from Mammillaria dioica, which is one I've seen on a few occasions in the coastal portions of San Diego County. So I'll probably have to do a little research on that, because we have at least two mammillarias. I think two here in Anza-Borrego. All right. Well, time to work my way up and see what awesomeness awaits me on this little mini adventure. I came across my first desert jujube of the day. That's what I believe this is here. Looks like it. Only this one's fully in leaf. This one's pretty much fully in leaf. So I came across several specimens when I did Grapevine Mountain back in mid-December. But they were deciduous. They were pretty much fully winter deciduous. So I wonder if I'm looking at something different here. This looks definitely like a Rhamnaceae. But I don't know, there might be multiple species of Sisyphus. Maybe. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to take a picture of this and cross-reference it. But yeah, the desert jujubes I saw hiking up to Grapevine Mountain were fully winter deciduous. Most of them were leafless or most of the way there. And that was in mid-December during their deciduous period. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot a picture or two of this so I can cross-reference it. Here's one here. This one's deciduous. This has got to be just Sisyphus Perry, right? Perry. Oh, sorry, Mr. Ensalia. See, this one's mostly deciduous. Still has a lot of leaves on it, but interesting. It's probably Sisyphus Perry, variety Perry. Very short amount of distance I've covered. Yeah, this is really cool. This is really beautiful over here. Just gotta watch I don't step on the brittle bush seedlings here. There's definitely a lot of stuff here that I don't know. A lot of plants that I don't know here that I could probably do my due diligence and research, of course. I love all the cactus here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful gander cholla. Another desert barrel cactus. And look at his gorgeous beaver tail. This is a pretty nice size, pretty nice size one. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Let's make sure I don't break it. Already stepped on a brittle bush ceiling, so I kind of feel a little bad about that. Of course, Engelmann hedgehog. There's a little ramp right here. And yeah, so far this is very easy hiking. Just a little exposed class 2 scramble when you leave the parking area. If you're gonna plan on doing something like this. So far this is very gentle hiking. Sorry about the wind. It's the desert, it gets windy. Not much I could do, but I'm just gonna keep enjoying this. Look at these beaver tails. We've got a great population over here. Kind of chock full of them around here. I wonder if I should side hill or just climb. I don't know. Let me see. Of course, this is one plant you want to watch out for, getting snared. Of course, catclaw acacia. Good old Senegalia Greggy. Man, yeah. I got some learning curves. I wonder if this is a Stillingia. It looks like Euphorbiaceae. I wonder if that's a Stillingia. I think Stillingias are Euphorbiaceae, if I remember correctly. There are a bunch of them here. Alright. Well, I guess I'm going to have to take a few pictures. And thankfully, I brought my San Diego County Native Plants Field Guide. I have the 2011 version, James Leitner. That's really come through a lot for me. I believe it's out of print, so you probably have to get secondhand copies. I got mine from, I've had mine for just a little over 10 years now. I bought it back in 2013 from the Mission Trails Regional Park Visitor Center. That's when I was living in OC and I came down to San Diego. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get some pictures of that plant and take a look at that. Might be a Stillingia. If it is, it's a plant I've definitely never seen before. Considering that I really haven't got a lot of desert hiking under my belt. So we'll see. Alright, so I had been flipping through that field guide, and now I am pretty much convinced that that is not a Stillingia. What I'm pretty sure I'm looking at is Ditaxis lanceolata, desert silverbush. And this is a slightly woody-based subshrub. And as I figured with the 3-chambered seed capsules I've seen on them, we're looking at Euphorbiaceae. So yeah, this is not desert Stillingia, this is desert silverbush, which is related, like Stillingia, in the Euphorbiaceae. So, okay, well, see? Like I said, I have a learning curve for desert flora, and that's why I've been keeping the field guide in my pack for a long time. Look at this catclaw right here. Almost completely leafless, just a few leftover leaves. There's another mistletoe in there. Where did I see it? I saw a desert mistletoe in one of these. Was I looking at the same one? I ain't trying to get in there and get my hands scraped up. There's a type of mistletoe that really loves Fabaceae plants, pea family plants. Mostly the woody shrubs like prosopis, the mesquites, and the Senegalias, the catclaws. the sun finally came up over Arizona. So that's a Ditaxis lanceolata plant. Kind of similar looking to Stillingia linearifolia, which is the desert Stillingia, but the leaves are narrower and they don't seem to be folded up at the midrib like the Ditaxis. So I saw my first Ditaxis today. I'll take it. All right, so now we got some gander choyas again. However, as I move my way around them, heading up towards this rocky spot here, Cylindra punti bigelovi, the teddy bear, aka jumping choya. There's a myth that it'll jump out to attack you. That's not true. Plants don't shoot plant part, except, well, cactus plants don't shoot their stems at you. They're just extremely easy to detach, as evidenced here. Look at all the detachments. These are all green, fleshy stem joints. These will most likely take root, provided we get enough rainfall here. But these are all probably the reason why this plant is called jumping choya, because of that. So yeah, that plant is extremely easy to dislodge portions of its portions of it. So, all right, I'm gonna work my way around here. Try not to get poked. So I'm gonna go ahead and scramble up this. I think the summit's a little further up that way. Definitely a very, very beautiful hike. Even though this is much shorter than the Grapevine Mountain hike, I would say scenically this is just as beautiful. Just have to mind the sound of S-22 below you. I wonder if this is desert sandpaper plant. I wonder if this is Petalonyx thurberi. All right, time to bust out the field guide. All right, so that apparently is not Petalonyx thurberi. I'm gonna actually have to probably go on CalFlora to try to do a what grows here search. Yeah, I'm kind of stumped on this one right now, so we'll just label that as of now a don't know type of situation. All right, but what do we have here? Here's something else that's very different looking. This is a type of sage. Kind of similar looking to white sage. Again, thank God I brought the field guide today. I'm going to have to go take a look at this one too. Alright, so my field guide has come through again. So in the back of my mind, I was wondering if this could potentially be wand sage or desert sage. Well, this happens to be wand sage, Salvia vasei. It's supposed to be pretty similar looking to the white sage, Salvia apiana, which does occur here in Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. But this appears to be wand sage right here. It's got that grayish, whitish leaf structure or color, leaf color, like Salvia apiana, and it smells just like it too. It has that same pungence, almost exactly the same smell and fragrance as Salvia apiana. Difference is these seed heads are clustered, kind of like most of our other sages, whereas the stage flower heads on Salvia apiana are not as rounded like this. So this is Salvia vasei, wand sage. Every time I turn around, I've barely made a step since my last couple clips, and because there is just so much botany out here to see. I've been wanting to see wand sage for a while, and there it is. Salvia Vasii. All right. I always pictured it being a really compact little bushy, possibly herbaceous perennial, which is listed as potentially being an herbaceous perennial in the field guide. However, with a lot of those sub-shrub/shrub sages with great age, and that one looks like it's an old specimen, with a lot of age, they can get pretty woody at their base. So, hey, I pictured a little compact, rounded, little bushy plant, and that was just an old, wild one. So, okay. Wow. So that was the first time I've ever seen wand sage. Salvia Vasii. So I'm getting close to what I suspect is the summit already. Very short walk getting up here. But it gives me a chance to check out some local botany and appreciate the insane beauty that this place has. Yeah, I'm just about at the peak already. Very short walk to get up here. Very short walk. Almost at the peak right now, actually. Cool little place. So I got to see my first Ditaxis, my first wand sage. The other plant that I thought was sandpaper plant. I saw some of that, I think, if I remember correctly, I saw some of that near Grapevine Mountain as well. Okay, I guess the summit's over here. Saw some of that near there, but I think I just looked at it with a little curiosity and didn't think to really look it up. So, all right, so the peak's going to be over here, I'm guessing. Let's see. Here's our first creosote bush of the day, Lauria tridentata. Some older guides and books describe this as Lauria divaricata, but that might be, I believe it's a separate species found elsewhere. Some of these brittle bushes, I wonder if some of these would be Ansalia actini as well. I'd probably have to check these out when they're in bloom. Some of these Ansalias might not be Phyronosas. I usually make the assumption that is because it's probably the most commonly known one around. It's usually by far the most common species. So look at these mountains. Some of these ridges look really inviting. And here's another fishhook cactus. All right. So again, I gotta check out whether we have Mammillaria dioica or Mammillaria tetransistra. All right. I guess the peak's actually a little further up. It's a very short, easy walk to get up here. Just a few places where you have to scramble a little bit to get around. Ooh, look at that crystal. Cool minerals up here too. All right. Was that a cactus wren? No, that's not. That's not a cactus wren. Beautiful bird though. Ooh. Wow. Actually able to get pretty close. I'd assume most desert wildlife is extremely shy. So this peak's not going to have a huge amount of prominence, but when is that ever a reason for me to forego climbing something that interests me? All right, so I guess this is where the summit is, right here on these rocks. All right. Gosh, this is cool. All right. Well, I'm here on point 2520. I looked on Google Earth, it looks like it's closer to 2,550 feet, but that would put it between 2,220 and 2,000, it would put it between 2,520 and 2,560 feet. So, being that most topo maps have 40-foot close contours, we're going to call this for Hill 2520. And there's S-22 winding its way up towards Ranchita, and these beautiful mountains here. So let's go take a look at some of these views here, because we got some pretty cool shots of the local area. So I'm gonna go ahead and snap a picture or two, and then I'll start pointing out views. All right, well, let's go start pointing out some views. Where do I want to start? I guess I'll start in the south. So the south over here, I really don't know what ridge or range this is, but I could always try to look up the topo maps and see if there's any listing. But these hills are quite a bit higher than this, and could be potential off-trail adventures in the future, maybe, once I get an idea of what these are and what I can do to get to them. So now we're going to start swinging to the southeast, and sorry for the sun glare, but that's looking over towards Granite Mountain. Granite Mountain over there. That was a potential hike I was going to do, but I think I might want to wait till I invest in some gear, like a Garmin InReach or something, in case I'm out there and something happens. That's very remote. That's a very remote place. And then now we're looking more towards the east-southeast and east, and that's the Salton Sea over there, and those are mountains that are possibly all the way as far as Arizona out there. So now we're gonna look down here towards the east, now looking at Borrego Springs, the community of Borrego Springs here. And then now we're going to look northeast now, and now we're going to be looking at the southern Santa Rosa Mountains, looking over towards where Villager Peak is, and of course Rabbit Peak, and I believe that's Coyote Mountain if I remember correctly, and then Clark Valley is somewhere out there, but I believe that's Coyote Mountain if I remember correctly. And I believe we're looking at Peak 6582, aka Dawn's Peak, Lorenzen's Peak, Peak 6582. So it's got a couple different names. And then we got mighty Toro Peak, the high point of the Santa Rosas in Riverside County. So let's go ahead and I can zoom back to some closer areas. And it looks like we're looking towards the San Ysidro Mountains right over there. Those are the San Ysidro Mountains, the higher mountains in the background. And that's looking more north right now. And then we'll swing it around to the northwest and more of this small range of hills. I'm pretty sure these are separate from the San Ysidros, but pretty close to them. And then of course looking west is S-22, and I'm going to be heading up back that way pretty soon because I'm planning on trying to hike at least one or two more hills out that way. So pretty cool peak. I guess I'll go ahead and shoot a couple pictures and start working my way back down. Just take my sweet time because it's early enough. I got plenty of daylight. I was parked here before sunrise, and I started walking just right before the sun started coming up. So I got here early because, you know, I drop off a coworker at work. I drop off a coworker who starts the same time I do. I'm off today, but my coworker had to work, and I figure, you know, It'll get me out here. It'll get me out early and give me a lot of time to maybe get into something a little more substantial later, maybe. Who knows? Even after I hit these peaks, we'll see. My eyes deceive me. Juniperus californica, California juniper. Okay. Pretty neat. There's actually a juniper up here. I thought it would be a little low for them here in the desert, but no. We got a little conifer action here too. Okay. All right. So I'm going to start worming my way back down this hill. Pretty cool little perch. Get some good views and some great botanical treasures that always make these hikes so fun. All right, well, I'm going to start working my way down and see you down the way. And of course, being here in the lower elevations, lower to mid elevations of Anza-Borrego, of course, this one's a pretty constant companion. Agave deserti, variety desert tea. Desert agave. Very, very handsome, very beautiful, succulent. Just look at that. I love those seed capsules. Very similar to yucca seed capsules. Very similar to yucca. And it's because they are related to the yuccas. Used to be listed as an agave family, but now agave family plants have been merged into the asparagus family, the Asparagaceae. And then we got a nice England hedgehog right underneath there. Wow, what a cool spot. Another little juniper down there right in the center of the frame. Left of my shadow there. Another California juniper, so yeah, this is pretty cool stuff over here. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this very much. Very, very easy to get up here. Besides just a few spots where you might have to just kind of scramble a little bit, but even the scrambling's not that hard. It's just be a little cautious. At first scramble leaving the road might be a little sketchy for some, but it's not physically difficult. It's just there's a little exposure, so just be mindful. Other than that, what a fantastic area this is. Yeah, this was fun. This is a fun little amble here. So I like to visit these more slightly out of the way spots. In other words, I mean, it's not out of the way like being super far from civilization because there's a highway right below me, but in the sense of this kind of gets you out to a spot where you're pretty much going to have it to yourself. Find your own little route. And you just have fun. Yeah, I can see I'm parked at that turnout right down there. Might be able to see my car glistening in the sun. That's where I'm parked. So it's a very short hike to get up here. Very short. Very short. Not really super steep or anything either. Just kind of cool. Just kind of weaving your own path, getting around these plants and rocks. Just, I'd say it's very leisurely. And yes, this is very much worth me getting out of bed extra early on my first of 2 days off. Yeah. That might be over towards San Isidro Mountain itself. It's the mountain peak itself. Oh, and yeah, of course, here's another plant. The good old Simonsia chinensis. The jojoba, the goat nut. Alright. Wow. Alright, now I'm going to start getting back towards my car and then start trying to see if I could find the turnout for the next hill climb. So I'm going to keep working my way around, and if anything else pops up, I'll be sure to whip out the camera and get some footage of it. Alright. So yeah, just working my way around all this. Pretty close to the path I took to get up here. Obviously, it's not going to be the exact path because there's no trail, so you kind of just weave around and everything. Here's another jujube. This one's still pretty much in full leaf. Pretty interesting. Yeah, man, that's cool. I love botanizing out here in the desert. It's really fun, especially because there are a lot of plants that I'm not used to seeing, since I haven't made it out to the desert a whole lot, and now I'm starting to finally make the effort towards doing this. So, I'm hoping to find another wand sage. That is so cool. I'd love to find that plant. If I get to find that plant in bloom, ooh, yeah, that's going to be a definite spotlight video. Hopefully in the near future. I would love to do a spotlight on that plant. Alright. Let's see. Keep my eyes out if I see any more wand sage. Alright, coming up on my first brittle bush blooms of 2024. We've got a few already starting to bloom here. Yeah, this one's definitely in Salea farinosa. Salea actinis is a little bit different. But yeah, we've got a few flower heads already starting to pop up on this brittle bush here. There's a beautiful barrel cactus. For a short hike, this is sure amazing. Look at that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful barrel cactus. People driving by probably look up, who's that crazy guy just walking in the desert? He's a hill and peak hiker. Look at that massive rocky outcropping there. Yeah, we kind of lost, well, for the most part, we lost the views of the San Isidro Mountains, kind of behind the folds of these hills here. So now I'm coming up on the rock scramble part, so I'm gonna have to be kind of careful about that. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna have to kind of look out where I'm going. I think I angled it a little bit differently on the way up. So I'm gonna kind of side hill this a little bit. Slightly different angle now. I know I came up past that barrel cactus earlier, the one I pointed out, but I kind of came up at a slight angle. Wow. Alright. So yeah, this is the exposed class 2 section. At least it's not class 3 or class 4. I would have to totally side hill it. Ooh. I saw this earlier, but down there, you can see an ocotillo and it's got new leaves on it. It must have just had enough rain Maybe that last system actually gave it some rain out here. Because, yeah, that right there, that's an Ocotillo, Focieria splendens, subspecies splendens. Yeah, it's got a new jacket of leaves on it. That's really cool. Last time I was here in Anza-Borrego, the Ocotillos didn't really have any flowers on them. Or, I mean, leaves on them. A couple had a few left over. Alright, so this is kind of where the class 2 part begins as I'm making my way back. So I think what I'll do is I'll just hike over this. Ooh. It's nothing more than class 2 though. So it's not really hardcore scrambling. It's just this part right here is a little exposed, so let's see here. Should I go this way? Maybe, maybe not. That's where the road is, just right there. It is where I'm parked, so I'm really close. So I think I'll just worm my way around this side here a little bit. Again, this is kind of the exposed part here, so just be a little careful if you decide to do this hike. But it's just right here. So I'm almost back. All right. Oh boy. The angle of this rock is a little steep. All right. Here I am. Woo! That slab was kind of steep angled. All right, well. Back. So this is basically going to do it for my Hill 25-20 hike. Very easy hike. A couple little scramble areas, nothing bad. Just pay attention where you're going, especially if you go this way the way I went. It's a little exposed on that side, but other than that, pretty easy, mellow hike here in Anza-Borrego. All right, time to go start looking for my next peak. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.